Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bangkok, Thailand, the final day of competition here in week number 4 on the Junior Grand Prix. I'm Ted Barton. Mark Hanratty will be joining us from a studio in Nottingham. Now, just a reminder, next week, the Junior Grand Prix is off, but we will be in Beijing to cover the Olympic qualifying event, and then we'll get back to the Junior Grand Prix in Baku, Azerbaijan. Today, the free dance coming up in just a few moments, and in the lead, the American team of Baboen and Vesalukin, but just 1 point over Canadians Anderson and Dawson. 4 points back. Third is Hien and Varescon of France, but they are essentially tied with the second American team of Desch and Hugh. Skate clean and have a chance will be the order of the day. 12 teams, 9 nations. The free dance begins right now. Welcome, everyone, to Bangkok, Thailand, the final day of competition here. And it's going to be exciting with the free dance and the men's free coming up a little bit later today. We've got a treat for you as we come inside the building here, the arena in this shopping mall. I'm Ted Barton. Mark Hanratty is online, but we are going to send you to an interview that we did with the chairman of the Ice Dance Technical Committee. We had some questions for him, Sean Rettstatt, as we take a look at the officials. You can stay on and watch the warm-up, but here we go with that interview that we did yesterday. Roll it. I'd like to welcome to the broadcast the chairman of the Ice Dance Committee, Sean Rettstatt from the United States. I know Mark is lined up with a couple questions. We thank you for giving us some time here. Go ahead, fire away, Mark.
Well, first of all, Sean, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time because I know you're an incredibly busy man, jet-setting all over the place. Can you just give us a little insight for those that aren't familiar with what your role is and what involvement you play within the ice dance community?
Sure. Well, thank you both for letting me participate with you. So I am the chair of the Ice Dance Technical Committee in the ISU, and it consists of 6 people. 4 of us have been elected at the annual congresses that happen every 4 years for elections, and 2 are appointed, which includes a coach and an athlete member. So together the 6 of us really are kind of the driving group that sets all the rules for the sport. We monitor the activity of the officials, we evaluate the officials, we do the exams for the officials, while at the same time really working hand in hand with the coaches and the skating community to decide where is the sport going, what changes do we need to do to kind of keep improving and growing the sport of ice dancing.
Amazing. Now, I know from word on the street and chatting to some of the coaches, I know that you and the committee work very closely, as you say, with the skaters. When we consider the ice dance community and Vision 2030, the ISU's plan to support the sport moving forward, what ways do you see the ice dance discipline and our ice dance community embracing that Vision 2030?
Well, Vision 2030 is actually very exciting, and we in the ice dance community have already really started that conversation with the athletes and the coaches and the officials. And so everywhere a committee member is throughout the season, we are always doing kind of an informal or a formal meeting with our ice dance family to start the process of what new ideas are out there, what works, what doesn't work, how can we improve what's already there and keep growing. And it's really kind of an open slate of ideas that everybody is welcome to kind of participate and be part of it. Because, like I said, we're one family. It's not us versus them or them versus us. And so we really try to keep that open line of communication. Where we go, it's really quite exciting because we have no idea. We have no idea where the sport's going to go, whether it goes with one program that's a little more technical, with one program that's a little more artistic or creative with choreography, or something completely new. And that's where we're kind of starting that conversation this year with everyone.
Is it fair to say that changes are coming, though?
Sure. And we've got the next 4 years to kind of start playing around, quote unquote playing around with some of those ideas and changes to see what works, what doesn't work. We've got a couple of different ideas that we would like to kind of put out to some of the teams for exhibition ideas, which could be used as maybe the catalyst for the future. Like if the program works to an exhibition audience, can it work also for a judging format? We would like to pull in some of the athletes that potentially are retiring after this fabulous Olympic season, maybe utilize some of their kind of skating expertise and brain power to also try out some of these ideas. So there's a lot of kind of things on the table right now that we're playing around with.
Ooh, that does sound very exciting. And I can absolutely testify that I hear the coaches talking about that connection and collaboration with you in the committee. So I think that's wonderful stuff. Just one other factor that we've been discussing a lot, Sean, throughout the broadcast of the Junior Grand Prix this year is the potential inclusion of AI. And for me, it was just considering, well, I can conceptualize how that might work for the single skating and the pair skating. Can you consider whether or not you think that's something that will branch into ice dance analysis?
Sure. We have not tried it specifically on a dance team yet, but certainly being able to monitor speed and flow across the ice, even the height of lifts or in terms of like the rotation speed in lifts and things like that, where it gets down to the intricate parts of edge quality and or turns being accepted or not accepted as clean turns, we need to kind of go down that road and see what AI can actually do. But certainly speed and flow across the ice, ease of the run of the edge is all stuff that we could try out.
But you are open to seeing what can be done.
Definitely. I mean, the judge will never be replaced. The judge is the judge. It is a judged sport, and that's what makes ice dancing and figure skating very unique. It's what draws the fans in as part of the experience themselves, because they love the participation as well. So that will never go away.
Okay, Mark, we have just 30 seconds to go, I think. So what do you got left?
Well, I think we just have to acknowledge, well, first of all, so grateful to you, Sean, for giving us your time, and also to acknowledge that we need more time. So thank you, and let's do it again.
Perfect. Anytime. I'm here whenever you want.
Thank you very much, Sean, for your openness, and this is always informative and interesting. The Vision 2030 by ISU is so exciting. We don't know what it's going to be, but we know change is coming, and that in itself is exciting. For some, maybe fearful, but it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be great.
Thank you very much, Sean, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you to you both.
Okay, we're back live, and that was interesting. We'll talk further on that interview a little bit later on in this event as we get started in the free dance final day of competition in Bangkok. Mark, you're there, right?
I was interested just re-listening to the interview that we ourselves conducted. Okay. I'm thinking, that is interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. Our first team represents Switzerland's 16-year-old Alexandre Levy and 19-year-old Alain Laurent. Swiss junior silver medalists, and had a little bit of a rough start in the rhythm dance. They find themselves in 12th place.
Yeah, a fall within the rhythm dance, part of the reason that this team find themselves 12th of the 12 teams after the rhythm dance, but they look buoyant, they look positive as they get ready to start their free dance, the tracks Who Wants to Live Forever and The Fallen Priest.
Who dares to
Opening this final day of competition at the Junior Grand Prix in Bangkok, Switzerland's Alexandra Levy and Alain Laurent complete a free dance that has a clean performance. And as we mentioned before they started this, they had challenges in the rhythm dance. So I'm so pleased that Alexandra and Alain come away from Bangkok now holding their heads up high with that performance.
Yeah, this was so much better. We saw their abilities in this program. Pretty dramatic. Alexandra has this drama in her, and you can see she loves this discipline. As we see the twizzles in here, coming in a level 2 for Alexandra, level 3 for Alan. But there is a sense of drama. Skating skills were better in this program than they were in the rhythm dance, of course. Some ways to go, no question, but they're still young. And I thought this was much better. And nice to leave this Junior Grand Prix event on a high for this team and how they skated.
Yeah, absolutely, and they look like they've been well trained in preparation for this. They were organized, and there was some complexities. We see the difficult entry and then the constantly changing movement through the straight line lift into rotational lift, and you can tell that unconventionally Alain rotates in a clockwise direction. Most of the teams that we'll see throughout the course of this event will rotate in the other direction. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have any impact on the scoring. As we look through their choreographic character step sequence, and here you get a chance to see what makes ice dancers. Alexandra utterly committed to the passionate storytelling as Yuri Kurikan joins them in the kiss and cry.
Good job. Smiles on the faces. You know, you can have a struggle during the week and things aren't going well and whatever, but when you have a good skate, particularly at the end, and you come together as a team as they are right now in the kiss and cry, you feel, this is why I love this sport. It doesn't always happen this way, and you have a bumpy road, but this is what makes me thrilled for the athlete and for the coach.
And whilst of course they're going to have wanted more competitive success with it, such a visual now, a memory saved on YouTube forever of a lot of hard work behind it. They won't win this event, but they need to celebrate now all of the work that has gone in to representing Switzerland here at the Junior Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's a starting point. It's not the last chapter. It's the first chapter. You just don't know how many chapters there are. It's the problem in life. You just never know what the future is. But good job.
And that's where, you know, the team now for the next chapter needs to go and study the rest of the skaters after this event to be inspired to work harder and make fundamental improvements.
Yeah, 67.81 for Alexandra and Alan. They are the first team out in this event with a 102.86 total competition score as they start the free dance here in Bangkok. They liked the performance. You know, they wanted the higher numbers. Who doesn't?
Representing Chinese Taipei.
Our next team represents Chinese Taipei, Tasha Shin-Hyuk Lei and Gabrielle Liu, 17 and 18 years old, first Junior Grand Prix event together. A relatively new team coached by Megan Wing and Aaron Lowe.
And Tasha and Gabriel will skate to All I Want by Olivia Rodrigo.
Told me I was a star. He held the door, held my hand in the dark. And he's perfect on paper, but he's lying to my face. Does he think that I'm the kind of girl who needs to be saved? And there's one more from my past. We fell in love, but it didn't last. 'Cause the second I figure it out, it pushes me away. And I won't fight for love if you won't meet me halfway. And I say that I'm through, but this song's still for you. All I want is a good guy on my Shouldn't that be enough for me?
Here we go. Come on.
All right.
Little louder now. Improvisation without a script. No one's written it. And now we have the chance to.
Someday we'll be looking back. Memories we'll have all the songs that we lived through. The best of times, so I leave them behind. Why can't the rest of my life be like my high school musical? Who says we have to let it go? It's the best part we've ever known. Step into the future and hold on to high school musical. Let's celebrate where we come from. Friends who've been there all along. That's right. All together makes it better. Memories that last forever. I want the rest of my life to feel just like a high school musical.
17-year-old Tasha Shenhui Lai and 18-year-old Gabriel Liu representing Taipei, so new together. I'm just so thrilled to be at the Junior Grand Prix for Tasha. This is her return to Junior Grand Prix, but now with this new partnership. And coaches were explaining that she is just so delighted to have found a partner again, and that's another factor which we don't discuss perhaps enough, is just the challenges that there are in finding a partnership. And now Tasha and Gabriel can leave the ice sharing a hug because they've just had the opportunity to represent their country and train for this event. That in itself is no mean feat to put together to start, never mind all the hard work to have the free dance that they've just given us.
Yeah, and you bring up a really good point, and you see quite a bit on social media. Hey, I'm looking for a partner, and there's a site I think that you can look for partners as well. But it's tough to be a dancer and not have a partner.
And that's where, as we look at the straight line left, having coaches like Megan Wing and Aaron Lowe, who have had so many teams on the Junior Grand Prix, they're aided by being in an environment where the coaches are recognised as being a team that create teams, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A team that creates teams.
And having a good relationship with other coaches in the business, then they can share ideas. Hey, I've got a skater here, and quite often that'll happen, and one will have to move to a different location. But there's a good network of coaches that do work together to put partnerships together.
And what I enjoyed here, Ted, is that it's a new team, but you could sense some of that I don't know if joyful innocence is the right word, but you could sense that excitement to be here and to be performing together, and it can't be underestimated. We just cannot underestimate how cool it is for the skaters to be out there, and how much joy and pride there will be when the family's watching.
Yeah, they're in the kiss and cry with Ashlyn Stairs, a coaching teammate of Megan and Aaron. She's usually there early morning, as is Megan and Aaron with their dance teams, as they work generally between 6 in the morning until about 11. And they have that ice surface to do all their work. And then a little bit later in the day as well. Finding that ice time for everybody's a little bit different. In my day, you had to skate it. Sometimes you would do the choreography at midnight until 2 or 3 in the morning because there was no ice time available. So you just did what you had to do. And skaters these days have the same type of problems. Hockey generally rules the roost when it comes to municipal facilities and even some of the private facilities. So finding the time that is available to figure skating is always a bit of a challenge. Daytime ice is good, early morning is good, and generally up to maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, and then it starts to get really busy with other users, and it's always a bit of a challenge for the figure skating clubs around the world.
And I have no concept really for how much Tasha and Gabriel have had to give up to form this partnership, how much of their lives are consumed by being here and perhaps dropping the camera.
Yeah, 66.14. Now that is second in the free dance for Tasha and Gabriel, and total competition score of 107.95. But that, for the moment, will keep them into first place at this stage of the competition. With a number of really good teams coming up. Our next team represents France, 15-year-old Rami Reverchon and 16-year-old Victor Demuzio. First Junior Grand Prix event.
And this team showcasing quality skating skills that will hopefully be showcased now in their free dance. Rumi Reverchon and Victor Demuzio, a team that is one that you would undoubt for the future, and that thanks to the quality fundamental skating that they have coming from that lineage of French ice dancers with an awareness of the important basic fundamental skating skills, and that very evident in this team as their teammates, who we'll see competing later on, support them on the rink side. And that's so wonderful to see, the fact that they're out there supporting them when they've got their own objective to try to medal here later on in this competition.
Well, you can see this team's skating skills significantly stronger right off the top than the earlier teams so far, but there was that big mistake in the twizzles by Victor, and that will be costly. And they had a big mistake, obviously, in the rhythm dance, which put them in this position. There's a nice entry into the twizzles. First set, a little bit off. At the end of the first set, steps in between in there. He puts the foot down. This is coming in at level 1 for them both. So that is a significant drop in what they intend, what they're capable of doing. As we take a look at the choreo steps, and this is in at just a small plus GOE. Of course, choreo steps are all based at level 1 for each team, and it's really scored based on the quality of what you present. Rotational lift up here, level 4, like most teams have, with the plus GOE. So out of the 8 elements, 2 of them are in the minus, so taking points away from the base value, and the other 6 are just slightly above 0, getting a little bit of extra score on that. As we see them in the kiss and cry, and they're a nice looking team, good skating skills, still some work to do, of course, on some of the technical elements. As I think Mark is probably rebooting his computer. We're having a little bit of a problem with his connection. We are like, I don't know, 5,000 or 6,000 kilometers away from each other. So the technology's glitching a little bit for him, which is frustrating. And now you have to listen to me doing dance. Bienvenue, Livia. There you go. And they look just a little bit frustrated with the program. There's moments of really, really good skating skills, deep edges, nice knees, and very similar styles. So they're really a well-matched team. And then when mistakes come in, so I think this team, they may not know it, but this team has a lot more potential than they're feeling at the moment. And that's always a bit of a job for the coaches, to try to convince them of what they actually have, because they can only judge it by how they feel. And a coach and judge judges it by what they see. And the see and the feel sometimes are different, or they feel different. 65.69, that is third in the free dance, and that is a 107.76 total competition score. That'll put Rami and Victor currently into second place. They're not pleased with that drop. They had a view and a vision of better results and better skates. But that is yet to come. Still early in the season. Representing Canada, 17-year-old Victoria and 19-year-old Andre Karandiak from Montreal, born in Montreal, coached by Benjamin Brisebois, Julien Lalonde, and Elise Emel. They need a 61.72 to take the lead after the first group. And they'll skate to the Mask of Zorro.
Well, there's a great crowd reaction for Victoria Karandiuk and her brother Andre Karandiuk as they complete their free dance. And this team, I think, Ted, is going to be challenging for Victoria and Andre to find themselves in ninth place after the rhythm dance. I'm sure that they were hoping for greater success within this field and in this event. But they are so committed, and as I was telling you off air, that this season Andre's made the big decision to stop playing hockey, as the loudest cheer support network are in the building to give them some love. But he's made that decision. The family is obviously totally backing them. They're united as brother and sister, and there's so much going behind this team. This event, they were hoping, I'm sure, for being in contention for medals. It's a challenge to find yourself not in the place that you would have so hoped for. They've gone out and they've done their best with this free dance.
Yeah, I mean, and skating skills are different from hockey to figure skating for sure, and it's going to take, and their skating skills, although okay at this level, not too bad, a little bit of a slip there for Victoria on the twizzle, they will need to spend a lot more time on the basic skating skills to really elevate their dance, if they will, and up into a higher category, higher standings. They're strong, they're a good-looking team. They've got great potential there, but that time on the ice about the basics of skating is so critical. As we take a look at the rotational lift combination, actually, curve rotational lift, both in at level 4.
Yeah, and just, I mean, I love that little hop within the choreo character step, and the energy that Andre and Victoria are both giving here is totally appropriate for the Mask of Zorro. It's just the fundamental stroking, and they are in an environment in Montreal where they will be surrounded by people that do have that great quality of skating skill, so they're totally exposed to it, and they'll totally embrace it, as Benjamin Brisebois will ensure that they do, and that'll pave the way for the future success for the component scores to keep climbing up.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is you'll see hockey players turning to who are doing both figure skating and hockey, turn to figure skating. Why? Because it is so difficult and it's individual, and they may prefer the individuality, although this is a team of 2, than a team of 15. There are some cases where a figure skater has switched and gone to hockey. A couple have been all-stars in the NHL. Novice champion of Canada, a figure skating champion of Canada, turned back to hockey and became an all-star, and now still plays on, I think it was the Edmonton Oilers. So, it's interesting. Of course, the Olympic champion from 2002, Jamie Selle, David Pelche. David Pelche is now a coach for the Dallas Stars in the NHL. That's extraordinary. You haven't seen an NHL coach turn to figure skating. So it's an interesting marriage of sport. 75.81 for Victoria and Andre. That is first in the free dance with a total competition score of 122.05. That'll put them in first place after the first group. Now, full dedication into the discipline of ice dance by this team. And that will pay dividends.
The following couples may now take
Okay, on the warm-up, what do you got, Mark?
Well, we have a host of questions, and actually, as we look to this next warm-up group, there are questions also from previous days in Bangkok when we had questions that were pertaining to the ice dance community, and I'll just bring them up now. But I think prior to me extracting those questions out, I think it's just great for us to think back about the interview that we had with Sean Rettstatt, who's the referee at this competition, but also the chairman of the ISU Ice Dance Technical Committee, and it was great for us to be able to hear the word on the street that what he and the team are doing and proposing. And I think the honesty of Sean to say that they're not 100% sure about the future of this branch of the sport, but they really care about the sport. So in an ever-changing world where the cultural changes and the entertainment changes are evident for young people, they're mindful that they can't predict exactly what's necessary, but they'll do whatever they can. That's the feeling that I got from that conversation.
I think they are sure about the sport. They're just not sure which direction or pathway it will take. So, and I think what's exciting about the 2030 vision is that nobody gave any answers, but they gave a commitment. This is the ISU, and Jehu, Kim, the president, said we make a commitment to search and investigate how we can change the sport, not lose the sport, but change it both on the ice and off the ice, to keep our current audience and to grow the audience into a younger generation, and also to grow the audience around the world. And you see us going to Abu Dhabi, you see us, we're in Southeast Asia here. So they really are doing on a mission. They are on a mission to increase over time the popularity of the sport, get it back to where it was a number of years ago, and increase from there as well. And in order to do that, you have to put every idea on the table and investigate it and find a way to do it better.
And, in terms, we've obviously had the majority of the events are governed by single skating, but in this discipline, in the ice dance competition, as we discussed the broadening and the branching out of the sport, it would be fair to say that the Asian ice dancers haven't had as much success. We've seen, Asian skating in the singles disciplines be super successful, in the pairs too, and it'll be interesting now to see how do we entice a market in that part of the world, and I am just cognizant of the fact that we haven't had that same kind of success from this part of the world as we have had in the singles and the pairs, and I'm interested to see how do we connect, how do we get ice dancing to connect with an audience and make people want to devote their lives to it.
The very first North American ice dance champions were in 2003, Victor Kratz and Shaylin Bourne. It took that long for a North American dance team to get to that level. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. The skating skills of the Japanese and the Koreans and many of the Asian skaters is phenomenal. And it works perfectly for this discipline because it is a skating skill discipline, essentially. And so I think it's only a matter of time, and we've seen improvements. So I think the future is very bright. And I think it'll attract more and more dance teams. We see more dance teams from Japan than we have seen in the past years by many. So young teams like Kathy Reed bringing them up, just little teams. So I think it's got a bright future. We may not have seen the movement may not be visible yet.
Yeah, and it is, I suppose then it is down to people. You mentioned Kathy Reed, there's Misato Komatsubara, there are other ice dancers that need to endorse, encourage and celebrate the humans, because it's the humans that are in the I keep using the word trenches, I don't think that's the right analogy, but the worker bees that are going to give us what we can spectate and enjoy. And so as much as possible, I think it's just giving recognition, respect and encouragement to the coaching community that are creating the skaters that we get to enjoy.
Yeah, and I think the word trenches, relates to those people that are, do that work every day, every morning. You don't see it. You don't know what, hours early morning. It's like a person that comes out and prepares the streets or washes down the buildings, or, people all have sort of different lifestyles, and those we don't know it and we don't recognize it and we don't celebrate it as much as we probably should. But those coaches that are in the trenches in a rink at 5:30 in the morning, and it's cold and it's damp, and they got to put the music on. They have to inspire the kids and teach them as well. That's real trench work. That's real work that no one sees or appreciates. We're watching the beautiful work right now. We're watching the result of that work. So I'm not sure. Everybody will have a different word to describe for sure. Here we go, Mark. We covered up that warm up
without even asking any of the questions, and I've got all those questions. Sorry, guys, we will get to the questions.
We ramble. I know we do. Just the ramblers.
Full of hot air, full of chat.
Ladies and gentlemen,
our first team in group number 2 represents Japan. Ikawa Yamashita and Yuto Nakata. Both are 20 years old. Second Junior Grand Prix season. They are the Japanese junior bronze medalists.
And Cahill and Yuto wanted to have a stark contrast between the rhythm dance and the free dance, and this now set to the Tree of Life suite. Japan's Kaho Yamashita and Yuto Nagata complete their free dance, and look at the smiles on their faces. as they
That's
finish
awesome.
that. Lovely to see.
It's sort of
Probably
like
relief as well.
Well, it's sort of like, God, I really enjoyed doing that. Then, oh my gosh, we did it really when it counted, right? So that was cool. As you see, Mao Shimada and her teammate, Maya Okada, beside each other, cheering their teammates on.
I'm living for the connection that they've both got together and that unity I so appreciate. And it's interesting there you see the likes of Mao Shimada watching the skating community all united and all appreciative of what each other are doing. And now for me with Kaho and Yuto, is trying to make sure that then they train domestically as far as I believe in Okayama, encouraging them that they are in Okayama with their coaches to keep doing that graft work, so that as we watch now, this choreo slide is cool. It's there's a mohawk. There, the left back outside edge, the crossover, the forwards run after that, ensuring that that is what they continue to strive to elongate and push for, so that their components and respect from the judges just keep climbing and climbing. You can see, even in these slow-mo playbacks, there are hours worth of lessons and motivation to keep demanding more. Every push, every stroke, keep demanding more. And actually, as I watched this curve lift from Kaho and Yuto, I just was thinking about Jean-Luc Baker. Yuto, I just thought he can take inspiration from Jean-Luc Baker to just keep inspiring himself to extract more quality from his own movement. Every edge more. This is fun.
Yeah.
Caught that.
There we go. Nice. That's a great thing about ice dance that's different than singles and pairs, for the most part, not always. But because it's more performance heavy, if you will, the emotion of the performance and the music can sometimes get you that heightened feeling at the end of a clean skate because you're engaged emotionally into it. From a singles and pairs, it's a lot of technical work, and you're thrilled about the technical work that you did clean, but maybe not as quite emotionally connected yet, especially in juniors, I mean, with the music. So dance sort of gives you that extra little joy as an athlete on days like this. 77.56 is their personal best. That was from last season. As they anxiously wait for this set of scores. And let's see, we've got 6 out of the 7. Okay, 7 out of
awkward looking around.
Yeah. Here we go. 75.19 for Kaho and Yuta. And that'll put them in the second place in the free dance with a 122.62 total competition score as they take over the lead at this stage of the competition. Wow, pretty close.
Next to skate, representing
Our next team represents Hong Kong, China, Yu Zhuan Singh and Hanwan Chao. 15 and 17 years old, first Junior Grand Prix event. Not much information on their competitive record. Mark?
No, I enjoyed watching this Mary Poppins performance from Yuzhuan and Hanwan when they competed in Ankara. And now, what have they amassed and learned? How many more grades of execution can they positively attract as they start their free dance?
From Hong Kong,
Yu Xuanxing and Han Wanchao representing Hong Kong. They've just cut such a great theme with this Mary Poppins free dance this season. It's just such a perfect vehicle for them, and I think that they absolutely inhabit the charming and endearing role that is necessary for this music as they are away from rinkside, perhaps from some friends and family that have come to support them. And this team was actually in almost a virtual tie on the free dance with the Turkish team that we're about to see compete in a couple of skaters' time when they all competed in Ankara at the Junior Grand Prix there. So confirmation that Yujuan and Hanwan are in a similar bracket yet again with other skaters. And so it's how do I move out of that bracket? How do I transcend this group to get to the medal contenders as they leave the ice? We'll just have a look back at some of the elements and see. So here they've got some great transitional content and difficulty as we look at the stationary lift. So this coming in at a level 4. Then they have to consider how much more effortless can I make that, how much more aesthetically pleasing can I make that to up the grade of execution. Here, the twizzles, between 2 and 4 steps must happen between the first and the second, and there, just the refinement of the leg line for both, the extension of the free foot, these tiny details to facilitate those higher GUEs. You can see here too, the free leg mindfulness for Yujuan, just tightening up the awareness of the leg line so that the body control, as we see their step sequence here, is considered of a higher degree to push them up components. And there, akin to what we saw from Kaho and Yuto, the Japanese team that competed before them, a curve lift. How many positive features can they attain from the judges? Certainly here, they're showcasing within the choreo character step sequence that absolutely fulfilling the criteria of being in essence of the music. Interesting that lots of the teams that we have seen thus far are getting an exclamation mark on their choreo character step sequence. So that just indicating that they're not fulfilling all of the criteria as per the panel. I'm just scanning through my PDF to see there's some various different criteria. The Communication 2716 will give all of the coaches and the skaters the feedback for what they see on the PDF.
Yu
Pre-dance
Xuanxing
score
and Han Wanchao from Hong Kong, China have
72.25. That is third in the free dance. The total competition score of 121.54, and that will put them into third place. So that is a bit of a drop for this team. There you see them behind the Japanese and Canadian team after the free dance.
Next to skate, representing China.
Our next team represents China, 17-year-old Shan Ji Yin and 18-year-old Yuri Yang. Second Junior Grand Prix season, recently competed in Ankara, placing 10th.
And as you say, Ted, this team, we're 10th in Ankara. Xing and Chao, we've just seen, they were 7th. So coming into the free dance ahead of perhaps the teams that were before them in previous Junior Grand Prix, hoping to maintain that lead.
justify the words I spill, like spitting embers they spark and kill. Outside my troubles are colder. I know the whispers they hurt sometimes. They swell and fracture my peace of mind. But can't you see the sanity in my epiphany? Let me cure these blackened hearts. Let me show you one to rejoice, to revenge, to resolve, to belong for, to belong Sometimes I justify the words I spill, but in your eyes the melody's frozen.
Shanxi Yin and Shirui Yang from China, and I was looking at the results of the rhythm dance and then comparing that with Ankara and noticing there are quite a few teams at this event that are competing against each other yet again, just the way that the things have fallen in regards to their assignments. And I'm wondering, well, Shanxi Yin and Shirui Yang, the team on screen now, appear to have made bigger strides forwards than the others over the course of the past 2 weeks. They seem to be seeing so much speed and significantly more skating skill evidently displayed within the context of that free dance than that from which we've seen from the others thus far. Just the twizzles were hauling across the ice.
Yeah, it was really fast. Mark, I have to tell you, I was listening to the technical panel as they called that event and part of the review, and they were so efficient. You didn't hear much. You heard just the call and just the review process and just the information. That was not a lot of dialogue, but a lot of clarity in their calls. It was really, really well done.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it. And just look, they pick up at the first blue line. First twizzle. And that was a cool transition. Difficult trying to boost the grade of execution. And then you're having to change direction to fit in the Group C feature on the third twizzle right at the end of the rank. So that will push the grade of execution, but it's also the skating skills which are evidently on display when there is greater ice coverage as we look at the dance spin.
Yeah.
Difficult entry into the straight line left, change of pose. Those are the features that they're going for, and are pushing through those 6 rotations in the rotational lift that was to follow. And that the little hop there and the Ina Bauer, that's considered a difficult entry. You'll see that from a lot of the teams.
Mark, the GOE scores are really strong for all these elements, all in the pluses, and 3 of them are well above 1. So the quality of the execution, they're adding points to that base value of each element. I think you're going to see a significantly higher score. 76.85 is their personal best. And I think you're going to see that score broken here. Season's best, 80.88. And you can see their reaction. Isn't that cool? That is awesome. And they're first in the free dance. The total competition score of 132.33. And I think tears are flowing for Shanxi. Wow.
In first place.
And
it
gives, they've relocated their lives to training.
Yeah, it gives
shows
them
how much it means.
It gives them belief that the work that they did, and not knowing will the reward come, it just came. Our next team from Turkey, Irmak Yüksel, Daniel Pak, both are 19. Competed 2 weeks ago in Turkey. They were 6, and we're sitting right now in 5th.
And this team, the highest ranked of those that we've seen thus far from Turkey, wanted to stay ahead of those that have competed already. However, Irmak and Daniel are quite clear on the fact that they have eyes upon medal placements.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, carry on. 'Cause nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me. There's no time for us. There's no place for us. What is this thing that builds our dreams yet slips away from us? Want to live forever? Who wants to live forever? Who dares to love forever? When love must die. Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you. Sing it. We will rock you.
Irmak Yucha and Daniel Pak complete their free dance. Irmak looking satisfied. The team have been working hard since the last Grand Prix and hoping to showcase the improvements that they are so eager to achieve.
That was the biggest reaction I've seen from this team at the end of their program, and they're thrilled with the skate, and they'll be looking to be rewarded here with the number. We'll see. But there are a number of reviews. There are 6 reviews out of 8 elements, so we'll pay attention to that. I'll listen into the technical panel. You go ahead and do the replays there, Mark.
Yeah, it's just interesting to consider the comparison with what happened for this team in Ankara, and I'm just trying to scan between the levels of what was given to them in Turkey at their home Junior Grand Prix to what has been assigned here, because obviously that will dictate so much of the success for Irmak and Daniel as they smile towards camera. Just seeing though that
Mark?
the judges are quite a lot lower on the components than they were perhaps 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Mark, that was interesting. The panel was looking at the step sequence, the serpentine steps, and they moved Ermax up from a 1 to a 2. So they looked at the replay, they kept the mans the same, but they ruled that no, she met that feature. So that was cool to see that process in a positive movement. Go ahead, Mark.
Good. And I love, we just saw the choreographic spinning movement, that their choice of choreographic element. And here, the forward outside loop turn, I love their transitional content between the first and the second twizzle as well. So a couple of unique choices of features and transitional content from this team. So we see the straight line lift, lovely extension of the free leg from Ermac. And now this their other choreographic element, choreographic character step sequence. Just so interesting to see how different panels perceive and react, and it seems like when I'm casting my eye between their PDF from the last event that the skating skills weren't deemed quite as favourably, nor was the presentation. Now you could consider that perhaps when they competed in front of a very excitable home audience in Turkey, that enhanced the presentation and the energy of the delivery.
So, Mark, I was listening to the look at the stationary lift. It was a level 4 coming in. It did get downgraded to a level 3 because of the entry. I couldn't quite hear exactly what the issue was on that, but they made an adjustment up on one element and down on another element. Let's take a look at the score for this team. 74.69. That is 4th with the free dance, and they look a little shocked with that. And that is at 128.37. And that'll put Ermac and Daniel currently in the second place. I think they felt that was a better dance than maybe the score reflected.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be taking a short break for the ice resurfacing. We will be
Okay. Ice resurfacing now. We'll take quickly a brief look at the standings so far. And Mark, what do we have coming up on the playback list video?
Stay tuned to see the winners interview from Riga when Canada's Leila Belon and Alexander Brandis won gold in Latvia, and then our figure skating basic series where we discuss pairs versus ice dance.
Hope you enjoy the videos. We'll be back right after this.
So Leila and Alex, huge congratulations. You are gold medalists. Now you are coming into this Junior Grand Prix season in, I think, your 4th season on the Junior Grand Prix. You've had a bronze medal before, but what were your ambitions and goals for this season?
I just want to be bold, very much out there. Want to prove that we deserve this. We deserve to be
at the
I guess
top.
at the top. Yeah.
Coming into this year, like Alex said, that was a main focus for us, and we really had a lot of passion towards our programs and everything coming into this year, especially after last year. We knew what we needed to improve on, and being able to be here and just get that one step further has felt amazing. We're really proud of ourselves.
And rightly so. You both looked incredible. I particularly loved your free dance. Now, it's an amazing achievement, not just to win gold here, but to have had a partnership that is already 11 years old. You guys have been skating together. I mean, you're not old enough to be skating together for 11 years. So what, though, is the main goal? How many more years are you guys going to skate together? Is there any ambition there?
Until I get tired of her. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We get told we're like an old married couple because we're definitely like brother sister also. But obviously the big goal is the Olympics one day. And however many years that takes, we're in it and we're ready.
Happy days. Now, we were joking earlier on with your coach, Cara Moyer, who's here and supported you here, about how you've put up with Mr. Scott Moyer. I thought that was comical. But you've got an amazing, illustrious coaching staff. How much do they inspire you guys?
Oh, greatly. They're the reason why I want to keep skating. I want to keep improving. They bring really great energy every day at the rink.
Every single day, they inspire us, like Alex said. We can't imagine training anywhere else, honestly. We love all of our coaches. They bring all such a different aspect and different ideas. Like the creativity is just insane, and the care for their athletes. And we absolutely love it.
Oh, that's incredible. So gold here in Riga. Where's the next stop for you guys on the Junior Grand Prix?
Gdansk, Poland.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we wish you all the very best and thank you for the brilliant skating here.
Thank you.
Welcome to the basics. The difference between ice dancing and pair skating. Now, I was a pair skater. Big, long elements, dynamic, risky, that lifts above the head all the way down the ice. It's pretty incredible stuff. You throw or assist the lady across the ice. Amazing discipline.
Yes, you can almost tell the ice dancers when they walk into the venue. I did ice dance and we tend to be much more dramatic and expressive, and the ice dancers will try to seamlessly weave their elements into the choreography with perhaps a greater focus upon the aesthetic and the storytelling of the performance than the pair skaters.
Also, in ice dance, skaters must maintain dance hold, and should they separate, they cannot be for more than 2 arms lengths apart. This rule adds an interesting layer of challenge. It's fascinating to see how the ice dancers skillfully maneuver through complex elements while maintaining such close contact.
And one of the interesting things about pair skating, the men will use a thing called firm grip, which is essentially kind of a glue that goes on their hands to ensure that the grips between the woman and the man stay firm, because it's very, very dangerous in a death spiral or in a lift if those hands slip. So that's important. Do you use firm grip?
No, the ice dancers don't use firm grip, and the difficulty, the complexity and the risk of the pair's elements will not just dictate the grip that's needed between the partners, but also even down to the costume, whereas the ice dancers will be as elaborate as they possibly can in their costuming, and that is the first way in which to differentiate pair skater and ice dancer.
But don't let the beauty of ice dancing fool you in that it's not difficult. It's incredibly difficult to perform at that level, to have their difficult lifts and their difficult elements, both disciplines, spectacular.
we would like to give a big round of applause to the DLA Band. The following couples may now take the ice for their 5-minute warm-up. From the United States of America, Michelle Daesh and Ryan Hu. From France, Leah Hien and Louis Velasco.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bangkok, Thailand.
From
And
Canada,
the final day of competition here, the free dance. We are in group number 3. And this will determine the medals and the points for the Junior Grand Prix final. Mark?
Yes, it's added pressure, and it really is. I think the skaters have so many layers of pressure upon them, and probably the greatest pressure of all is the self-carved pressure, because they're obviously all so desperately keen to make sure that they represent themselves at their very, very best. But I think when Junior Grand Prix placements become an option, it does increase the drama, because to go to Japan to represent your country in Nagoya, Japan, that in itself is amazing, just as a life experience to get to travel to another country and another continent for many.
Do we have any questions that are coming in that we can...
Yeah, so thank you to those that have sent any questions. We haven't given a shout out today to those that have done so.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate, so grateful. And we'll rattle through some of them.
Okay.
One of them comes from Johanna Creates, and she asks, when is the Olympic qualifier?
Well,
you know only too well.
Yes, we do. And you will be arriving on Tuesday night, or no? You arrive on Wednesday, and so do I. I think you're a couple hours earlier than me. Next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thursday's practice day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week is the competition in Beijing.
And that will be viewable on the ISU YouTube channel, which leads me to the next question, which comes from @modern.miscellany. Can the ISU create an archive YouTube channel? And I'm pretty sure that on the ISU you can access all of the content that the ISU has the rights over. You can access that. Depending on what you can view is dependent upon the geo-blocking that might be in place, depending on your own geography.
And
it's an interesting concept to have archive stuff.
No, it is. And the reason the geo-block might be in place is because your major network in your country, for instance, in the United States, NBC, or could be Asahi TV in Japan, that they own the rights. And so that may be more challenging. I'm not exactly sure all the details, but they can be geo-blocked. Certainly live competition will be geo-blocked, and sometimes the videos as well. But for the rest of the world, I think you can pretty much find anything, and easily find this year's. So so enjoy that.
It's interesting though, because I know that in terms of archiving, it'd be wonderful if you could be able to access all of those famed and historic moments in our sport. But I know even from working on Dancing on Ice, whenever the TV channel wanted to use footage to celebrate Torvill and Dean's Olympic gold, they couldn't use the actual footage of the Olympics. They would use the World Championships or the European Championships because of issues to do with rights, and that is all stuff way above my awareness. And
I think it's changed. I think it's changed slightly. I mean, the Olympic channel, there is an Olympic channel, so they have a lot of that as well. So I think a lot more things are available. They've worked out some of those details. And I know if you do enough searching, you can find pretty much anything, to watch. But certainly the ice,
to work there.
Yeah, exactly. But I think on the ISU they've done a good job of archiving, particularly the year. And so if you get on the ISU YouTube channel site and hunt around, you'll find a lot.
Next question, which I've got them in front of me, Ted, so I've got a little bit more chance to think about the answer that I want to give, but it comes from It's Just Marie 143. Favorite step sequence of all time? Do you want me to go for it? I give you time.
Yeah, you got 1 minute, so you dig in because you'll be more.
Okay. Well, right now, and I think I would caveat this answer the same way as I did yesterday. Right now, because it could change depending on the mood and my mood and the weather, whatever. But right now, I just saw a step sequence from Adam Sialhem from France in the short program at the Lombardia Trophy in Bergamo, and that was really spectacular. And I also, right now, for some reason, remember Mao Asada from Japan's, I think she did a Mary Poppins program, and I remember thinking that she was a single skater who had the most amazing ability to rotate in both directions, and those are the ones that stick out right now.
Well, there's been some
could
great
go long.
ones, and I know from I would say Alexei Yagodin and his gladiator routine. Now, was it incredibly difficult? No, not like they are today, because the requirements were the same. Was it passionate and drove the audience to their feet? Absolutely. So there, depends if you're looking at difficulty and incredible skating, skills with the emotion as well, or you're looking for that moment that just drove the people to their feet. And so there's a whole variety over time. Here we go. The final group. Team currently in fourth place with 56 points. They're tied with the French team at 56 points. From the United States of America, Michel Dej and Ryan Hugh. Both are 17 years old. Second Junior Grand Prix season. They competed in Riga week 1, placing 6th, but they have a shot at the podium right now.
And they said that of their performances in Riga, the whole experience was a bit like their 4 seasons. They experienced a whole gamut of emotions and experiences at that event, hoping for simply joyful skating and success as they compete in Bangkok.
Just love the way in which this program is constructed to start and end in the same very, very difficult position.
From
Michelle
the
Daish and
United
Ryan Hugh from the
States of
United States of
America,
America.
Michelle
And as you would
Daish
expect,
and
as we head into this
Ryan
final group,
Hu.
based on the results of the rhythm dance, immediately they're showcasing a different level of body control, body awareness, and body movement. As we see the American skaters, some of whom have finished their competitions already, cheating on their friends and teammates, because Michelle and Ryan immediately in a different level of body awareness to me.
Yeah, the musical phrasing is very clear with this piece of music, and they were clear with their choreography. So it was really beautifully done. We'll see what the scores are for this. So we take a look at the stationary lift at the top of the program, Mark.
Yeah, just the tension in the body to create the shape, and you could really see that at the opening. You can see elongating their leg line, so not just hitting the feature, but doing it with more crisp clarity and conviction than that we've seen from others. A little bit of separation there.
Yeah, the twizzle comes at level 3 for Michelle and level 2 for Ryan, so leaving some points on the table there.
Good to see their choreographic sliding movement, that their choice of the two choreographic elements here. If I was to say anything, I think that at this point in time in the program, when they were doing the choreographic character step sequence, things started understandably to get a little bit ragged. But in their defense, you could argue that as the music got to that heightened fever pitch of intensity, they could get away with a little bit more frenetic movement. So 6th place in Riga, but remember they had that rhythm dance that was really tricky when they competed there, as Igor Spielman joins them.
And this is going to be ever so close, of course.
Need a mic on the kiss and cry.
Yeah, totally. The next team representing France are tied with this team. Both have 56 points, 0.20 and 0.06. So these points are very important. Will they grab a medal plus the points for the Junior Grand Prix final? 81.42, that is first in the free dance with a total competition score of 137.47. As they take the lead, 3 teams to come. Their destiny is in the hands of others. Now,
Next escape.
and this team is third in the bronze medal position after the rhythm dance 19-year-old Leah Hian and 18-year-old Louis Varescon from France. Second Junior Grand Prix season.
that keeps me from dancing with the one I love. My mind knows the key. My mind knows the key. My body is a
France's Lia Hien and Louis Varescon complete their free dance, and sometimes we're asked Ted about what we could speak to, and the Max Richter and the Nature of Daylight is one of my absolute favourites. It's just such a beautiful piece, and this was an intense, sharp contrast to the rhythm dance for Lia and Louis, as they swap over with their training mates who are now doing the same as they did for them earlier in the competition.
Yeah.
France is supporting that.
A great first part of the program. I love the music. I thought their skating skills were superb. The second half on the change of music just deteriorated a little bit from a skating skill perspective, and also the music became darker. It was harder to, I don't know, they started out so beautifully, and it started to...
Yeah, it's so interesting to consider the analysis of what the judges have to do when it comes to those program component scores, because for me, Lia and Louis immediately showcasing quite not much stronger, but stronger skating skills than that of the American team who lead currently, and so that could carry them through on the other components. From a composition perspective, I don't think it stayed perhaps as utterly in fitting with the music as that of the Four Seasons that we saw from the Americans, and then you question whether or not these little breaks in the rotation for the twizzles will be costly on the tech score, because they should drop levels for that. But when you look at this straight line lift, the ice coverage is just so good that that's going to play a big factor on their components. The skating skills will be high.
That first part of that program was just really beautiful and so well performed, and strong, deep edges, wonderful flow, and some little problems in the second half, but they'll probably have enough here to stay ahead.
And with Lia and Louis now, as they play with Mario De La Asuncion, the coach, just checking his hair is okay. But third place and 11 points from their first Junior Grand Prix assignment. We have to wait till the end of the series to know what's necessary. But certainly, 2 bronze medals might not be enough for the final, but you still want a bronze medal, at least.
Well, 22 points, you never know what's going to happen. Puts you in the game, but not in a strong position going in. But we'll see over the final 3 events in Baku, in Gdansk, and Abu Dhabi.
And the other factor, all these factors at play, but the other factor could be just improving upon their personal best, and a sense that this event has actually been maybe a little low scoring, because we've had a lot of teams competing that are in their second Junior Grand Prix assignment that have skated well, but haven't necessarily come out with significantly more than they have at other previous Junior Grand Prix. So perhaps the panel's just a little bit more strict in their analysis.
Yeah. And Hart, now their 2 are done. So now you have to sit at home and just watch every competition and see, are we staying, are we dropping, are we rising, and what are our chances, right? And that's got to be stressful to see if you're on the cusp of making it, but you're not sure until the final event.
Yeah. And then, of course, then there's that next gearing up for Leah and Louis. Beyond this, is it the final? And then if not the final, then it's back to national championships vying
right.
to try to make the Junior Worlds team.
Right.
So many great French junior ice dance teams. Oh, she's...
Leah Yen and Louis
Look at the scores.
from
Season's best,
France.
86.39. That makes them happy. There they go. And that's first in the free dance. The total competition score, 122.59. And they're thrilled. They're on the podium.
142.59.
Job done.
This puts them currently in first place.
So that's like a big phew. You did it. Yeah, she just did it. She just went.
You can see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Representing
Yeah.
Canada,
Our next team represents Canada. Charlie Anderson and Caden Dawson, both are 19 years old. Just 2 weeks ago, in their first Junior Grand Prix event, they took the silver, so they're looking to retain 13 points at least in this competition.
I loved this free dance when we saw it the first time. Leave a light on and the scientist.
The second someone mentioned you were all alone, I could feel the trouble coursing through your veins. Now I know. Keep our hold. If you look into the distance, there's a house upon the hill, guiding like a lighthouse. It's a place where you'll be safe to feel our grace, 'cause we've all made mistakes. If you've lost your way, I will leave a light on.
Charlie Anderson and Caden Dawson. The free dance is aiming to tell the story of someone who's broken and struggling, and the positive influence it can have when someone offers a helping hand. And whether or not you sense the storytelling or whatnot, there was just no debating the passionate intensity with which these two story tell. And I remember them saying, and I think I mentioned when they competed in Ankara, about the tria and how the connection that they showcased to everybody, including Scott Moore, was really evident initially and then immediately in their connection. And I really sense it too. Their maturity and delivery of performance is amazing, and Caden has improved so much since last season. It's incomprehensible.
No question. This team is convincing in their performance, but particularly Charlie. It's like you get drawn into this and you forget about the technical elements because you're watching the story unfold, as you can see it right there, right off the top. And I don't want to say acting, I just want to say that they're in character and they make you feel what the song feels.
It's just something about somebody when their neckline is so open, it just draws you in. So you see the difficult entry into the twizzles. And again, I was really mindful of Caden spotting Charlie in the rhythm dance twizzles, and you can see again he's just doing all he can to make sure that GOE is okay and they're on point. Partnering. And this the choreographic assisted jumps. To have 3 of those, not more than 1 rotation. To have that called as an element, choreographic element. This was great because the lyric, there was some, I can't remember the exact lyric in the song at that point, but something about falling into you, and awareness then of the composition of the program. So the judges, English is the language of the ISU, so all the judges should hopefully be able to connect that lyric and storytelling, the composition of the piece, and that's that final moment is kind of rough but passionate. And they said that huge credit to their free dance to Cara Moyer, their coach, for that work on this piece. And now, they are currently 6th in the standings, so 13 points already. So they'll go up in the standings.
You mentioned before, Mark, about the work that's been done out of that school in London, and we can start to see the quality of the team, the Moyer team, and others starting to really shine. Let's take a look at this.
We saw Cara Moore and Sherry Moore, and they were talking about how they all got on so well, and that's a big credit to the team.
Well, 90.73, that is first in the free dance, with the total competition score of 150.77. They should be extremely happy with the skate, but also the scores. And that puts them in first. They know they've got a silver secured, 26 points. Will that change to gold? Well, that's up to the next team.
Next to skate, representing the United
From the United States of America, 15-year-old Hannah Maria Aboyan and 18-year-old Danielle Veselukin, currently in first place after the rhythm dance, Mark.
Yes, and this free dance is the story about the birth of goddess Nike, trying to create a layer of story where Danielle is the sculptor and believes the statue is alive. Real concept behind this free dance for the team that don't just want to win here, but put themselves in contention as front runners for the entire junior season. Well, the story of the goddess of victory, Nike, is definitely, I think, going to be the
From the United
theme for
States of
victory
America,
here for Hannah, Marie, Aboyan and Daniel Veslukin, immediately showcasing at the start of this free dance an ice coverage, a speed, a power, and a self-confidence that makes their win here indisputable in my eyes. Well, it's Team America versus Team Canada in the stands.
We're
It's a
heating up here.
battle. They're back
Yeah.
on track with the
Back-
battle, yeah.
Exactly. They took off like a half year, and now they're back at it, dressing up and cheering their team on, waving the flag. Big smiles coming off the ice, eh? Loving that moment.
Yeah, and it was great program. Interesting because there were a couple of things that the openness of the opening transition and the exploitation of Hannah's incredible flexibility makes me want to relive that opening transition. I think that's such a good sign. We watch so much skating, and yet there are aspects I think, oh, I want to see that again. That testament to the work that the whole team is doing in creating this free dance. As we see the curve lift. Again, confirmation, Ted, that I'm still getting those Marina Klimova 1992 Olympic champion vibes from Hannah's costume. She's serving Olympic energy.
Yeah, you were right on with that. I remember you see a really difficult entry into the Twizzles, a little off sync in the first set, but got back on here.
But the speed that they entered into the right forward outside twizzle, which is so hard, really, really impressive. And you just sense, with this team, oh, I love the stand spin as well. You sense with this team that they must put a huge amount of hours in. I thought that in the rhythm dance, there just appeared to be so much depth of layering into the performance. And here, even when they were doing those twizzles, and whilst they were not perfect and there was a little lack of synchronicity, they must have done so many reps to have the confidence and speed that they did as Melissa Gregory joins them.
As a coach who's lived this and done this herself, she must relive the thrill of a performance from the other side of the boards. It's a completely different feel because you're totally out of control, but you probably go back in your mind as to what that felt like when you were on the ice. And now you get a different feeling, a similar feeling of joy, of course, but on the other side of the boards.
And for me, I think knowing that Melissa Gregory and Dennis Petchikov, the coaches for Hannah and Danielle, they're showcasing a team that obviously look like they'll be contenders this season. It's great to see a different stable from a different rink. Because there are so many wonderful stables of ice dance, but I always think it's exciting to see something from a different vibe. So Hannah and Danielle were serving brilliance, and it was definitely not what we've come to get a little bit more comfortable with and seeing from some of those, more established schools where we've seen more of their work, and it just keeps the variety show going. And I'm grateful for the work that they've done to create this team and give us that different energy.
They're still wearing those big smiles. They know that is the best they can do, and they know there's going to get good points. They're going to receive a very nice paycheck of points for this free dance and accomplish what they wanted to, and that is take gold in the 15 points.
And it's interesting that we're seeing from the technical panels, we get our eyes on what's happening. Little things like an extended lift, 1 point deduction, that's something that they'll be frustrated with and can easily be rectified. And other things like the midline step sequence, currently under review, so we'll see what happens, but there's a level 1 and a level 2, and I think with this team, I don't know what their goals are, but I would imagine showcasing the speed and power that they've got, that they will be wanting to go on to try to become junior world medalists, and so level 1s will not be an option.
And that could be just a small detail that they missed today, but they'll be pushing for level 3s, I would imagine, by the end of the year.
They're pushing for some acting and storytelling and the kiss and cry. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. I don't know who they're sending signals to. But,
question, do you know the name of the stuffy that she has on her lap there? I have no idea.
Is that... Are these the Labubus? My daughter goes on about these, but she doesn't actually want one. But I think that's the thing at the minute.
She goes on about them, but
and embarrassing myself.
She goes on about them, but doesn't want one.
No, apparently they're quite common in school at the moment, and everybody wants a Labubu. But she
Okay.
finds them a little bit creepy. And to be fair, I actually personally find them a little bit creepy as well. But anyway, that's just
I
personal
will.
opinion.
That's a three-peat. I also find it creepy. Those are really big ears. and they're bothering me.
Where do we go with this?
Well, we're just trying to fill time. Here are the scores. 92.96 for Hannah Maria and Danielle. That's first in the free dance, of course. They take the title here with a total competition score of 153.96. There you look at the champions. It's a lot of joy in the kiss and cry. A wonderful moment for this team. At this part of their journey, and they have a long journey with bright lights ahead of them, that's for sure, as do many of the other teams. Wow, and we'll take a look at the final standings here as we move towards the final event coming up, the men's free program, and that will be exciting. Some really good skaters. Hannah Marie, of course, Danielle in first place with Charlie and Caden, 153, about 3 points shy, and Leah and Lewis take the bronze. And a look at the rest of the field. Well, that was a great start to the final day of coverage here in Bangkok. Up next, the men's free program. We hope that you stay with us. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage so far in this event, week number 4 on the Junior Grand Prix. For all of the volunteers and our production and the officials and the coaches, I'm Ted Barton, along with Mark Hanreddy. Thank you for watching. We hope you join us in about 30 minutes for the men's free.